I am Ratan Kumar Chandra. You are listening my divine turbine dedicational poems. Poem number 211. 211. We have taken vow to create the glow of your image on earth. So this is our search to you, in fond of your love in our lives, due to which we are alive for you. We are alive for your divine life in our lives, where our devotion weaves the cages of our lives by the pages of our own lives, where our devotion weaves the cages of our lives by the pages of our own lives on earth, in condition of the surprise of the prize of your divine paradise in our lives, for the price of the sacrifice of our own lives in fond of you on earth. Number 212. Illusion, pollution, and solution are the parts of our lives on earth. As earthly illusion has its own monetary pollution on earth, whose solution has its own pollution among us as the sources of problems in our lives on earth, whereas divine illusion is charitable and free from any pollution in the sky and on earth. So let us be considered by the divine illusion of our lives on earth for the solution of monetary earthly pollution in our lives, which can make us free from the dilution of our lives for our divine paradise in the sky. (213). Everybody is needy on earth, but everybody is neither greedy nor cruel on earth. So God has created an example of divine presence on earth, which has been done ago, as the sun, moon, and the stars have made me their own by disclosing their secrecy of justice for me in the sky, for disclosing their secrecy of injustice for me in the world. So how can I show my gratitude for the divine attitude of God in my life, as life is a deed of sacrifice which creates prize for the exercise of our lives by the surprise of God for our own prize in the sky. (214). As our lives are time bound on earth, so the time is precious. More precious is our performance in lives, and most precious is our perception in lives, where the secrecy of the existence, resistance, and the deliverance of our lives are hidden in the secrecy of the fondness of our lives to God during the favor of the function of the sun and earth in our lives, which help us to be free from the rivers of our lives on earth. (215) God is the creator of our universe, who is omnipresent, so we should have sense to perceive God among us in the qualities, abilities, and formalities of our lives. For an option of the immortality of our lives in the sky, or the mortality of our lives on earth, because only God can release us from the cages of our birth by making us free from the rivers of our lives on earth. (216) Our lives are our own minds. It depends on us how we dig it to draw the precious jewels for our own, because the honor of the divine virtues of our mercy and courtesy are the secrecy of the succession of the mortality to immortality in our lives, which make us free from the rivers of our lives on earth, whereas the dishonor of the divine virtues of our lives are the secrecy of the succession of our lives to mortality for the diversity of the creatures by the rivers of our lives on earth. (217) There are services of God among all other services on earth, which saves the root of our lives to generate the motion of our lives, so that we can create our relation with God for our lives on earth. So as there is oasis in our heart in the desert of our lives, in such way there is essence in our hearts for the sense of God in our lives, which make the oasis of our lives for our own thesis in the sky. (218) Be the fond of liberty to avoid the poverty of our lives on earth, which are the causes of the diversity of death in our lives. So don't lose the balance of our virtues carelessly to avoid of being disbalanced in our lives, as this is a balance which can shape the progression of our civilization for the salvation of our lives on earth. (219) The reign of human beings possesses the crown of humanism over the creatures on earth, where the diversity of cruel humanism are presented in shape of the diversity of cruel creatures on earth as a part of our civilization for our lessons on earth by our unseen creator of the scenes of creatures on earth. I repeat this poem. The reign of human beings possesses the crown of humanism over the creatures on earth, where the diversity of cruel humanism are presented in shape of the diversity of cruel creatures on earth as a part of our civilization for our lessons on earth by our unseen creator of the scenes of creatures on earth. 220. As God is the creator of the divine turbine for our lives on earth, so we are the part of the divine preparation of God in our lives on earth, which are derived from the prescribed way of God to be described clearly at the call of devotee when the deity discloses the secrecy of sacrifices by the surprise of the price of God for our paradise in the sky. (221) We should be fair for the prayer of our lives on earth, which creates a divine layer on the roughness of our lives so that we can avoid the toughness of our lives on earth, because the sense of humanity in favor of divinity is the richest form of our lives among all on earth, which can lead a man according to one's deed, who succeeds the courses of our lives to exceed the depth of our lives for your divine paradise in the sky. (222) When the concealed desire of long-awaited dream develops to maintain the growth of our generation by inspiring the lives through the species progression, which immerses the lives in the nectar of your nutrition, for creating hope and pleasure in the motion of lives, so that we can be honored by you for your divine manner in the sky, when the motion of our lives create an atmosphere of devotion for our divine promotion in lives by you. Number 223. I am here on earth and you are there in the sky. What a fair game of your fame in our lives on earth. So whatever is unfair here, that's the presentation of our hidden affair of birth after birth of lives in your charitable atmosphere on earth, where we have created a monetary memorable atmosphere on earth to be pressurized by the monetary affair on earth, due to which the divine affair of devotion is being sick for our divine promotion in lives by you. (224) Our bindness with you draw your attention for our agitation to you in our lives, which removes the boundness of our lives by your kindness in our lives, so that we can be divine to sign our lives by our contribution with your devotion, which develops a holy motion for our divine promotion in lives by you. Two 25. Life is a game of diversity where birth and death are the diversity of our lives as the day and night in our lives. So we are informed of the divine exchange of our lives on earth when God the Almighty and the devotee exchange their love for the lesson of the divine promotion of our lives on earth. When we come to know about God among the gods and the devotee among the devotees on earth, so a part of the mercy of divine mercy, God gives the birth of the divine honor on earth as the gateway of divine paradise for the divine way of devotees to God on earth. (226) Let us maintain the virtues of humanity to maintain the human status quo of our lives on earth, which creates the gateway of divine paradise for our lives on earth, because the penalty of losing these virtues practically are maintained by us physically and mentally in lives when human beings can't revert as human beings without being honest for humanity. (227) There are no end of our lives. If there is any end that is derived from the beginning of the new exercise of our lives in the sky, for which we have to exceed the death of our lives in hope of the practice of our deeds for divine paradise in the sky, till we get the divine right of God in our lives by the surprise of our paradise in the sky. (228) Let our money create the balance of the virtues of our lives with the mercies and curses of our lives on earth, which can create God for our paradise in the sky, where our lessons of compassion and the ration of salvation will be the fashion of the function of our lives for the junction of God in our lives on earth. (229) Let us judge our every moment in lives. Let us make every moment a moment of judgment in our lives, which create our own management for the engagement of our lives in future, due to which motion of our lives which are moving around the sun, the movement of which is honored by the greatness of eternity, from where the piety of the deity is being served on earth for our divine birth in lives by you. Number 230. Number 230. As our earthly lives are derived from the order of money on earth, our divine lives are derived from the divine order of God in the sky. as well as on earth, as the source of the existence, resistance, and as well as the deliverance of our lives on earth, where money is as the honey of our lives, which we collect from the flowers of our lives for our journey of discoveries in our lives, so that we can get relief from the miseries of our lives in hope of our divine paradise in the sky. I am Ratan Kumar Chandra. I present you a divine presentation. I Love You, which is a collection of 10 pieces poetic playlets which has there are two characters in this playlet. I love you. One is male, another is female. I tell you the dialogue of both characters one by one. I hope you will enjoy it. Forward. When the tongue follows the proxy, which is scheduled to act the role of a theatrical presentation adorned by the deed of duty and the need of beauty, which may be dutiful but may not be beautiful. But when the tongue follows the heart, which is the cause of spontaneity to hearten our lives by creating a desirable sensation among us, which may be amateurish, which may not be dutiful, but even that is beautiful. Now, playlet starts. I love you. Sky. How do you sign your love in life? Oh, sweet girl, how do you bloom your beauty in life? My scythe plays on the scenes of lives as the end of a fair and the game of prayer in the snare of illusion, when we bear the compassion of our own attentively. That's why you have come here without any hesitation, weariness, and fear, as a dear of my life, along with your agitation for me. What a glaze is on your face, as the rays of inspiration by the right of your sight of eyes, as the right of a dawn, which creates a marvelous morn of a great attraction for me. But how will you create harmony with my hope and faith by your favor in my life? Next character, air. My dear, I am the hope of hopes. My hope is as the power of the hour of honor, whose inspired breaths are the prayer of my heart, which effuses in the sky and air. When will you fulfill the desire of my heart? Tell me, dear, whom shall I serve the devotion of my heart? Who will fortify the emotion of my heart? My dear, for the sake of hope and faith, my good wishes and favor are forever with you. Sky, oh dear, your hope. Is it the dwelling of dream in your heart for me, or the swelling of your desire for a while? I cannot follow you, as the freedom of my great heart overwhelms me. I am as a charmless character where carelessness is there in my life, so there is no attraction for your concentration to me. I can't proceed myself to succeed on. I gaze everywhere as a thirsty deer. You tell me, dear, when and where the unlikeliness of my life will relieve me to achieve the goal of my life. Air, be glad, dear. Look at me, look at the world. Everywhere is gladness here. No one is unhappy here. So let our fondness be the findings of each other in our lives. Let our desire be the flowers to wreathe. Let our desire be the flowers to wreathe a garland of love each other, which will perfume our lives. We will rise the sun as the dawn of the shining of our lives to enjoy the triumph of our joy, which will delight us by our light, right and might in lives. Sky, oh my sweetheart, I am pleased at your sweet behalf. I look everywhere, what nice is the nature. By missing myself, by being out of bounds, there is no way to go out of this round of life. The sun is bound here, the moon is bound, stars and planets are also bound. Who is here without the bound? We can't go out of this round. Our minds are bound, our bodies are bound, our lives are bound. There are an illusory bound among us. So I want to be bound by you for the glory of our rounds of love together. Air, oh my dear, you are here in this fair of our lives, where the favor of your life enlightens the core of my life. By the eternal love, my heart is worthy today for the piousness of your love as the dawn of your life, which as the dawn of your life which delights me for removing the loneliness of my life. I tie you in that light, as this is your coming to me with hope, love and inspiration for a long destination after a long duration for the coronation of your love in my life. Sky, my sweetheart, you are the order of my heart. You give me right to delight my life as the light of promise to sacrifice each other. This is not only my love to you, this is your reward of love to me against my disregard to remove all the backwardness from my life by looking in your encouraging eyes, from where the blessings of your sight delights me. When a bird on the passage of dawn sends its message of merriment to the door of lives, as a fighter with the flying air in care of the prayer of dawn, which delights us on the ways of our lives, when the promise pleases the faith of our lives, so that this faith can be derived from the divine faith of our lives for our deliverance in lives. Air, when the wings of our hearts swing in the lap of love, we immerse in the course of lives in hope of the source of our paradise in the sky. For the force of our lives on that path of pleasure which delights the sky of our lives, as the sun by creating the illusion of love, as moon when there is not any gloomy sensation on the ways of lives, and our love grows in our lap of hope to fortify the heart and mind, as well as the fate and fortune. On behalf of our golden age, we offer our gratitude in the solitude of our heart, where you and I am there to do the prayer for love. Sky, O beauty, you are in the paradise of my life, which is pleasureless without you. Out of your custody, a charmless life has guarded me. You are the messenger of my message. You are the passenger of my passage through ages. You cheer up the course of life as a lover of my life. You sanctify the love of our lives. Air, there is light which lightens the sight, but it is not that light which lightens my life. You are that light that delights my life. There is air which inspires my life, but it is not that air which fulfills my prayer, my desire. You are that air which perfumes my prayer. There is water which quenches the thirst of life, but it is not that water which sanctifies my life. You are that water which satiates my life. My hope, my happiness, and my prayer are the worshipper of your love, my dear. Sky, darling, you glorify my heart by your generosity of love. My desire and my prayer all are the admirer of your love. The call of my heart is mesmerized by you, as a honeybee is mesmerized by the flower. When will you glorify the prayer of my heart? When will you fortify the power of my heart, of my life? Let me love to your heart. Let me live in your heart as an art of your life. You draw my creation in your life as the extreme way of our sensation of love, which enlivens the life of our love. Air, O great, my beauty, my youthfulness and my life, all are the worshipper of your love. to enlighten my life by my inspiration of love, which creates a fondness of faith in your life, to glorify you, which braces me to embrace my life by your love. My dear, you come to me in my heart by your art of love to develop a sense of faith in my life, in my faithless life, so that I can be your faith to fortune in life, faith of fortune, so that I can be your faith of fortune in life. Sky, oh my sweetheart, today at this auspicious moment, let me immerse in your love to obey the call of our heart by spreading the hands of hope as the glory develops our glow to glamorize us by our glamour. Which fill up my heart by your sensation of love. My mind is mesmerized by your soothingness of love. My dream is delighted by your sensuality of love during the worship of my love for the friendship of life beyond the surprise bound by the price of love. Here, my heart is filled today by your sword of love. My life is great under your war of love. There is a drowsiness in the air. My life is immersed in the drunkenness of your love, as this is adorned by the glow of dawn, the heart which is out of control, the mind which is out of bound. When there is only loneliness in my life, when there is only unlikeliness in my life, you have overwhelmed that heart and mind by sanctifying my life. Sky, oh beauty, today I am familiar with the greatness of sky and with the gayness of air. The luxury of life shows the excellence of its brightness which delights us at our cordial meeting. Our heart blooms by the naturality of love, as the flower blooms by the naturality of nature. The period of a new era reveals with the dawn of our love, where the sky is sunny, the air is funny, and the light is runny, as this is our triumph over the lifetime and love which perfumes the arena of our lives by the faith of love. Here, my heart is delighted by your deep love. My life is enlightened by your life. My mind is pleased at your kind behavior. I am proud of my life, as I am the companion of your love, to be the champion of life. You delight my life by the love of your life. Your life is my hope. Your love is my faith. My hope is worthy by your love, as I esteem worthless without immersing in your illusion, in the illusion of your love. My dear, you are the key of love. You are the sky of love. I go across the life by immersing in your sky of love. Sky, darling, you are my pleasure. When I look at your eyes, an alluring power develops to embrace you by your dream of love. Your arrival to me is as the inauguration of your love in my life, as the incorporation of your cooperation in my life. When only loneliness was there, now there is gladness everywhere, which brings success in my life. Tell me, darling, by which power of attraction you create such inspiration in my life. Here, my dear, you are my power. You are my prayer. You are the path of my life. As the satisfaction of mind and the satisfaction of body are complementary each other, where the man is a creator and the woman is a mediator, when it tunes the life as the nature, she naturalizes the creation by the affection of her illusion. She plays the glorious role of generation by the generosity of her illusion. Sky. My love, you do your duty and I do my duty. This is the beauty of our lives. But even why are the lives so miserable? This is so troublesome, and there are disheartening in our lives. The happiness which we deserve for ourselves to make happier our lives, the struggle which we do for ourselves to enrich our lives. Does the power of that struggle save us? Which are the causes of win and loss, hope and hopelessness, joy and sorrow, etc., according to our faith and deed. But even why do we not aware about our faith and deed when our manliness or our pride, which gives glory to our lives? Here, my dear, we are aware about the rule of nature, but we do not follow the rule of nature, as the selfishness is ruling over there. We are the saver of this world for ourselves. We are the server of this world for our future. We are the server of this world for our future generation. There are our duties. These are our duties to do it more beautiful, and more comfortable without being selfish by nature and without being the follower of the unforesightedness. We try to create supremacy over the crisis of others here on the kingdom of God, when there is no security of our lives and we all are waiting for the death of our lives, there without showing the sympathy one another, without soothing the pain one another, being the source of selfishness, we make sinful our heart, we make guilty our lives, so we do not be free from the sorrow and worry of our lives, to save ourselves from the miseries of our lives due to the curse of our selfishness and senselessness among us. Sky, darling, we are human beings having the sense of pride. We are proud of us. We have the sense of prestige as well as we are aware about the sense of ability, our manliness, our pride, which gives glory to our lives, as it is the reign of manliness, and manliness challenges all powers, as nature is the object of our kindness. The earth is the battlefield for us. Our enemies are our poverty, old age and disease. We want to win this battle, and we hope the day can come when the power of manliness will win the battle of life. Here, my deity, today I am proud of your thinking. I want also the win of manliness, but we do not mean it But we do not mean to remain on our haughtiness, because to give respect and to get respect is the prospect of a great life. Nature is not the object of our kindness. The mercy of nature are the sources of our lives on earth. So till we are losing the favor of nature in our lives are safe on earth. But when there will start the disfavor of nature in our lives, we and our civilization will lose ourselves on earth. So it is a nature of time when we are alive on earth, our civilization are alive on earth for the taste and bliss of God in our lives, so that we can acquire the word of God for our salvation in lives. And in this way, our nature is as our mother, who welcomes to all of us on earth at present. Our lives are worthy by her grace. We forget our weariness by her kindness, which gives grace to our old age and glorifies our death in her holy lap. We are the part of the gift of nature. Others are the collaborator and cooperator of our lives as the hidden prize of our lives by the surprise of God in our lives. So it is our kindness to them that we should be so great to get our divine paradise in lives, being free from the illusion and pollution of our lives for the solution of our salvation in lives on earth. So our natural treasure are the sources of energy in our lives, and as we beg her kindness to us, she deserves also our kindness to her. Sky, my devotee, I agree with you. The nature is as our mother. We take birth in her lap, we grow in her lap, and we die in her lap. We are dependent on her, so we try to make her according to our need, and according to our outlook, we try to make her beautiful as we are the worshipper of beauty, so we don't agree with the uncivilized manner of nature's aggression. There are forests and lands of old days which does not match with the modern outlook of our human civilization, so we clean it to reproduce the greenery in a decorative way. It does not mean that we torture over the gifts of nature. Believe me, the time will come when we will enjoy the stars of the sky also, to entertain them by creating a sense of admiration with a source of devotion for a force of salvation as them. তুমি খেতে বসেছো? আরোগ্য সবচেয়ে সস্তা রয়েছে অ্যালোপ্যাথি ওষুধের উপর 25% ছাড়ের ব্যবস্থা।